7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
He has a lot of problems.
Struggle to be top 5 in points at the end of the season.
Wow.
You bleach your hair, you're a sellout.
Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode number 279. Or are we on 280? I think we're on 280, actually. Gosh, I'm so well prepared for this show. I want to thank all our live stream listeners who are listening in right now. So this is a this is a bit of a preview here. If you join our members area of what you can kind of see, and I'll be better prepared for this here as we go. It's just one of those things. This is show 279. So anyway, so this is a live stream to kind of show you what you'll get if you guys are join the members area. Again, it's $4.99 a month. It's a new thing we're launching here to try to help generate some funds to get us to more races. So we got a little lucky this weekend with Washougal. We had our West Coast contributor Issac Gonzales out there, and he sent us a whole bunch of videos, and I was going to have him on, but I don't know what. Well, thank you for that $9.99 super chat there. That is awesome. What's up, dog? So thanks everybody for tuning in. Really appreciate it. So we are going to, we're going to record show 279 here live for you guys. I was supposed to have a guest tonight. I guess a little miscommunication. They didn't end up showing up. So I'm basically freestyling this show essentially by myself here, is basically what's happening. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Now, before we get started here, just want to go ahead and maybe this will work. Come on. Just want to go ahead and thank our sponsors here on the show. So first off, show presented by Complete Racing Solutions. And this month we are highlighting the Coach Rob podcast. And Coach Rob has just come out with a new podcast, which is Navigating Amateur Motocross. And, man, I'm really trying to get this to work here. This will be the best show ever. Doing lives is a real pain in the butt when you're kind of not good at doing lives. So let's see here. Boom, live show. There we are. Sweet. Now I can see the chat. That's awesome. Okay, anyway. So show presented by Complete Racing Solutions, and this month we're highlighting the Coach Rob podcast. Coach Rob has the Navigating Amateur and Navigating Vet Motocross podcast on there, and they are phenomenal. This month, the featured guest, Mr. Tony Alessi, which, if you don't know who he is, obviously one of the most decorated moto dads of all time. Mike Alessi was I believe one of the most, if not the most, decorated amateur motocross kids ever to come out of the sport. So make sure to go check that out. I'm excited these couple of weeks off here where I don't have all the normal race stuff I got to listen to. I'm definitely going to be tuning in on that one. And, that'll just be an awesome listen. I cannot wait. Make sure to check that out as well as Energy Fuel and everything else that Coach Rob has to offer at CompleteRacingSolutions.com there. Link in the description down below. We're in the TLR Coatings studios here. Make sure to check them out for all your custom powder coating needs. We have all sorts of stuff in here. If it's metal, we'll coat it. We do shipping to all 48 lower states there, so make sure to hit us up if you guys need something. Gutter Worx going to be bringing you our 450 race recap. ProFlow going to be bringing you our 250 race recap. We've got the Isaac Nelson Designs Danger Zone coming up. There's merch on the merch shelf down below, so you can go ahead and check that out. And again, we're doing the members section. It is only $4.99 per month, and the big draw to that here is we are going to live stream the show here. So once we get some of you members signed up, and I've only kind of soft launched this here last week with the show. Once we do get you guys signed up, we will live stream it to members only. So this will not be a public live stream anymore after the next couple of weeks here. This week I'm going to live stream the whole show because I'm here by myself, so it'll be short anyway. Probably in the next couple of weeks or the next couple shows we do here when we get to like Unadilla and stuff, I will probably just live stream a certain segment of the show for people to kind of get a preview of. And then, like I said, once we get a few members signed up here, then we will live stream it members only, which will allow you guys to comment because we'll keep a track of it and we can bounce back and forth with racing. I'm going to try to do a few kind of I'll probably do 2 like members only live streams on like Thursday evenings from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. I'll probably do maybe the Budds Creek week, and then maybe we'll do one there in the when we get into SMX playoff rounds. So again, please go sign up for that. Help us out a lot, and yeah, we'll be hanging out, doing stuff with the members. I'm trying to give back to you guys a little bit. I get a lot of questions or a lot of comments, people wanting us to do a live stream for the main show while we're recording it, which is what we're doing right now. And yeah, so I decided, well, that would be a great way to have a members area and the members get that bonus. So what is up, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in to the live stream there. Really appreciate it. Again, we're recording the main show, so if you're watching the live stream right now, this is going to be the main show. So anyway, let's jump into this here. 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutter Worx. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. So make sure to go check them out if you live in the Southwest Michigan area and you need some exterior modifications to your house. All right, so first up, 450s here. Chase Sexton goes 1-1. I said this in the reaction show. I'm going to say it again. Sexton is basically the man here this year as far as this 450 class goes, with Jet being out. And I watched a couple interviews with Sexton here. Sexton basically, the thing is, it's exactly what I said. If Jet was there, Sexton wouldn't be in the position he's in. Right now, Sexton knows he's the man. He can sit back, relax. This is what they've talked about, the first like half of the moto. He's just kind of chilling. Doesn't really matter where he starts. He's riding, but he's just kind of chilling. And then once he hits about halfway or that 18-minute mark, then boom, he's on, he's going, he's gone, and he's catching everybody and winning. But again, if you have Jet, who's probably going to put 20, 30 seconds on him in that first part there, if he doesn't go, it completely changes the dynamic of the class for him, and he's riding a confidence wave, and there's nothing, we can't take anything away from it. He's riding a confidence wave. He's probably going to win this title, barring some just absolute catastrophe happening. But yeah, I mean, there isn't much more to say here. He just is the man right now. And it'll be interesting to see how he carries this momentum going in the SMX playoffs, especially if Jet comes back. If Jet doesn't come back, I think he carries the same thing in the SMX playoffs, and boom, we're rocking and rolling, and Sexton will win that too. However, I think if Jet comes back, I think it changes his mindset completely, and we see a completely different thing. But Chase rode great yesterday, very patient, and he was just going to the front all day. That's all there was to it. There wasn't a whole lot else. There wasn't, it was very methodical. It wasn't wild and out of control. It was just very, very, he's the man right now. So AP goes 2-3 for second. Really thought AP was going to get a win there. But man, he is just the people's champ. People go crazy for that guy. He's fun. I mean, he's chugging a beer off of that guy who's sitting, I don't even know what he was sitting on the side of the track there after that second moto. The dude's the man, okay? I really hope he picks up a moto win here, or maybe an overall win before the year is over, because I think that would be great for him. But man, he has developed a lot here into kind of being in that next group of guys. Like you've got kind of like your Sexton Jet is the first group. And then you've got Aaron and Ando and Hunter, and I guess you'd call it Webb and Tomac when they come back, all kind of that second tier group of guys there. And he has just firmly planted his flag into that second tier. Ando goes 4-2 for third yesterday. He rode really, really good yesterday. I really thought he was going to pick up a moto win too. but obviously just wasn't meant to be. But he's definitely coming on strong here as we go through the end of this season here. And who knows, maybe they are getting that bike better. That's what they're saying. So maybe that is the key, is they're getting that bike better. Sorry, guys. I'm still coming off a sickness here, so I'm way better. Anybody who's been watching the videos throughout the week, I'm way better, but we're still not 100% yet. Thank you all for tuning in. All 24 of you watching there. Really, really appreciate it. And again, thanks to Zelda Man for that $9.99 donation. Really appreciate that, brother. All right, Hunter Lawrence goes 5-4 for 4th overall. He's going to be doing a whole bunch of testing here in these off weeks, I guess is what they're saying, and including blood testing of his body. I heard a theory the other day, and it's pretty much spot on in my opinion. Chase is the kind of guy that can go out and just crush himself with training and crush himself, and he's good. Hunter can't do that. Hunter is much more, I guess for lack of a better word, he's delicate, okay? The wrong food, the wrong training, too much training can really disrupt his system and screw him up. So he has to be much more careful. And him getting blood tests done in these off weeks isn't necessarily a big surprise, but it's interesting. I thought he kind of had everything figured out. Now it appears that he doesn't. So we'll see going forward what this entails. I'll do some digging here in these off weeks and see what I can figure out. But right now, it's an interesting scenario. It's spicy meatball that we're going to have to dig into there a little bit. Justin Cooper goes 3-7 for 5th. Man, that poor guy cannot buy himself an overall podium, and I think he needs some of those to renew his contract automatically and have that option available to him. He's riding really well. He's just the lower end of that second group of dudes. And the one thing we got to remember is this is still a true rookie season for him in the 450s. So he's doing great, but it's just not quite there. And when your teammates are Cooper Webb and Eli Toback, creates some issues if you're not performing where you need to be for that kind of stuff. Dylan goes 6-5 for 6th. Kind of invisible all day. Stu goes 10-6 for 7th. Freddie, way up there, goes 8-8 for 8th, which is really impressive for Freddie. That's absolutely fantastic for him, and hopefully we see him continue to stay right in that range. But this is no surprise either. Freddie's one of those guys that, like we talk about all the time, we need an outdoor-only deal for him. Like, he doesn't need to ride Supercross. He can ride Supercross. He's proficient at Supercross, but when he has to actually race Supercross, it's not good. So we need to get him an outdoor-only deal. Craig goes 7-12 for 9th, racing that arm back into shape. That's cool. Michigan's own Marshall Welton goes 11-9 for 10th. Fantastic ride for him. Absolutely killer. Hopefully keeps that rocking and rolling. Harry Coulis going to be in these playoffs here. 13-10 for 11th. Derek Kelly, 14-11 for 12th. Chiz goes 15-16 for 13th. Grant Harlan, rough day, second moto, some bike issue, I think. 9:38 for 14th. Colin Park goes 18-14 for 15th. Dino made the motos, which is awesome. Had to start all the way on the outside gate there, I saw. 16-17 for 16th. Roman Pope, big crash that second moto. That was a scary crash. 12:34 for 17th. Phil Nicoletti, I don't know what happened that first moto. Maybe some bike issues, a la Marchbank status. I don't know. We'll see. 34-13 for 18th. Lorenzo Lacrucio goes 25-15 for 19th. And John Short rounds out the top 20, going 20-19 for 20th. Let's see here. Any other notables? Any other Michigan boys? Nope. So, yeah, that's been your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutterworks. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. Guys, I really wish I had more. The race yesterday wasn't terribly crazy. Nothing wild and crazy really happened. And being by myself here, I can only watch and listen to so much in a 24-hour period here. So you're getting what I got and hopefully it's enough for you guys. Okay, so now we're going to jump into our Complete Racing Solutions halftime report here. Make sure to check out Complete Racing Solutions and the Coach Rob podcast there. Again, links in the description down below. Okay. Big news this week, if you haven't watched my video already. Marchbanks and Club MX split. I haven't heard a whole lot about it. I know there were some things that Marchbank was really unhappy with. Running out of gas in a moto and being blamed that he was revving it too much is what I'm hearing is a big point of contingency with them. And I think there were a few other things really, really bike related. It's still super interesting to me. And again, I haven't got a whole lot of info of why the split just randomly in the middle of the year and not finishing the year out. Like I said, my biggest thing at this point is I want to know, is he going to finish this? Like, is he going to finish the outdoor season on a PC bike? He signed a PC. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody knows it. Everybody's saying it's a done deal that he signed a PC. So, and obviously Mitch needs bikes on the track because he's got Kitchen and Master Pool and that's it. But what's going to happen with him here? Because he has enough points, he'll probably make 250 SMX. So if they can put him on a PC bike for that, well, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I'd love to see him in the last 3 rounds here. It wouldn't surprise me to see him in the last 3 rounds here on a PC bike. But we'll have to wait and see. Nothing has been announced. Nobody's talking about it yet. Maybe we'll get some info this week, but we'll just have to kind of wait and see on that one. Let's see here. Anything else that I had in my notes here? Oh, yes. The other thing here, the great Glenn Helen debate. For those of you who haven't seen this or whatever, lots been going on talking about Glenn Helen. Are they going to have a national? Are they coming back to the nationals? No. Davey was on Gypsy Tales, and now they just had the owner Glenn Helen on Gypsy Tales. Kind of going back and forth. In order to not get too into the weeds with this, because I could very easily. There's some things I know behind the scenes. There's some things I don't know. Basically, I believe there were some mistakes made, and there's some questions that don't have answers with a whole bunch of stuff from a long time in the past. And in my opinion, the owner of Glen Helen, being in a business relationship with the Coombs and MX Sports there's some of those questions he really wants answers for. And in all these years, they haven't provided answers for him. So he's just out. Now, one thing I will say that I learned in listening to that podcast about with the Glen Helen people there, Bud Feldkamp and Lori, I can't think of Lori's last name. Anyway, one thing I did learn is that Glen Helen is probably one of the smartest racetracks that was on the circuit. So one thing to note is that a lot of these tracks really love having the national. And that's because if you have a national, there's a high probability you're going to have a regional, which those 2 weekends alone will make you enough money at your track to basically run the entire rest of the year. Now, a lot of these tracks, Redbud included, which I love Redbud, and I'm not talking any disrespect to anybody here. I'm just stating what I know. So, for example, Redbud has a regional, the national, the ATV Pro National, and then they have a few other select events throughout the year. Now, when I listened to the podcast with Bud and Lori the other day, one thing I really learned was that they do all sorts of stuff. So not only do they have Tuesday and Thursday practice, so they're open 2 days a week, every week, all year. They also have, what did she say, a Saturday motocross series. Okay, fair, awesome. Which is a weekly series, and it's probably not busy every single weekend, but at least the track's open and making money, at least some, on those weekends. They obviously have the Vet World Championships. They have the two-stroke championships. Then they have other things. They have the Stasic track. They have the REM track. They have another, what's up, everybody in the chat? They have a bunch of different things they do that aren't all necessarily just, hey, we're going to have a local motocross race, which as a business, I think is really smart, especially if you got property, okay? I've said for a long time, Redbud should run a summer Saturday night Super Series on the night track. They should. They did one, I don't know how many years ago, maybe it was like 2018 or something like that. They did a 3-week night track series because they have the night track there. For anybody who hasn't been to Redbud, Redbud has the main track that they race the National and everything on, which is awesome. And then they have a smaller night track, which is under the lights. So like on National weekend, Friday and Saturday nights, they have amateur racing till all hours in the morning there on that night track. And the night track's fun. It's a good time. But I really think they should do a night series there, which would draw in locals because there's a lot of local people, including myself. Like when they did that mini series way back when and had a 3-race, whatever, it was super cool. You showed up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You did a single moto, I think was all we did. I don't think we did 2. Then you did a single moto, and you were out of there by, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock. Like, it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome, right? As opposed to, like, the big track where I got to show up at 7:30 in the morning, and I might be there till 5. This is like, okay, cool, we're done. If we're done by even midnight at the latest, I'm home by 1 o'clock in the morning, which is awesome. So I really think some of these tracks should look at expanding beyond just the main big track and running events on that. Because I think if you look at what's it called? If you look at Glen Helen, they set the standard for that. So, all right, that's basically all I have for the Complete Racing Solutions halftime report this week. So let's move on to our 250 race recap brought to you by our friends at Flo Racing. Make sure to check them out. Just did a PW frame and wheel set for a Loretta's bike that they're building. So make sure to check them out. Link in the description down below. We're going to start off with our Isaac Nelson Designs Deegan Danger Zone. So Deegan goes 2-1 for first. It's just his year, man. That's all there is to it. The kid can't be beat. He had some issues. Even this week with the whole debacle with the airplane stuff, he had issues, and guess what? Still made it, still happened, no problem. So, it's one of those things when it's your year, it's your year. Tom beat him the first moto. Tom looked really good, but none of these guys really have anything for him on a consistent basis. It kind of goes into rotation. Vial is just the flavor of the week here that's challenged him. Probably when we get to Unadilla, it'll change again. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But again, barring an absolute catastrophe, which it almost was this week because they got the last private jet, he'll win this title. And even if he would have missed this week, he still would have had the points lead. And probably by a lot because Hymas wasn't even in second. So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And that's been your Isaac Nelson Designs Deegan Danger Zone. Which isn't very dangerous anymore because the kid's just proven how good he is. Vial goes 1-2 for second. That first moto, very impressive. Second moto, again, if you want to challenge anything, which none of these guys really can now because he's got such a huge points lead, you got to beat him more than one moto, which again, nobody can. But Vial's definitely doing well here. Shimoda's doing typical late season stuff. He goes 3-3 for third. He always looks good late in the year. Would not surprise me if come like Iron Man, he actually wins the overall there. Won't surprise me one single bit because this is just what Joe does. And then like the last round of SMX, he'll probably do really good at that too. Fantastic day for Ryder D, man. God, I hope this kid's coming around. He's back up in, I think, Barstow or something riding. He goes 4-6 for fourth. I really want to see this kid like do something. Again, another very highly touted amateur that just kind of has fizzled here. And I know it's his first full year. I've actually given him that grace. So hopefully he starts to build here And by next year, he's right up there battling in the top 5 week in, week out, Supercross and motocross. Pierce Brown goes 6.5 for 5th, looking for that star bike. Levi Kitchen goes 12.4 for 6th. And this is what I talk about with Levi Kitchen. Last week, he goes out, wins the overall there. And this week, here we are. He's basically irrelevant at his home track. Can't get a start, whatever. And this is just Kitchen's MO. He just cannot quite put it all together all the time. And this is why I have to see him do it multiple weeks in a row before I really start to get on board with the Kitchen thing. Savachi goes 9.7 for 7th. He's really struggling with some things. They had him ride Swole's bike, I guess, on press day because Swole wasn't there. They found a couple of things with that, so we'll see how that works out going forward. Swole goes 7.9 for 8th. That's ironic. So the two Triumph boys right there. Hymas's ankle just destroyed, so he rode, but 8.12 for 9th. That's a good salvage. Now he's got 2 weeks off. We'll see what he looks like when we come back at Unadilla. It's a severe sprain, so hopefully he's good, but we'll have to wait and see. Jet Reynolds goes 13.10 for 10th. First top 10 of his career. Seemed pretty happy about that, so that's cool. Juju goes 16.8 for 11th. Masterpool 10.15 for 12th. It's kind of come off the rails there. We'll see. Maybe he'll surprise us in the last 3, but the talk is a lot less right now with Masterpool. Anstie goes 5.38 for 13th. He had a crazy flight thing, so he was working off like an hour and a half of sleep, so no surprise there. Dylan Schwartz goes 17.11 for 14th. Casey Cochran struggled this week, 15.13 for 15th. Jordan Smith got a killer start and did nothing with it, 11.17 for 16th. Nick Romano, Club MX 2025, 18.14 for 17th. Talon Hawkins threw some nasty whips in press day. Saw that on Instagram. 14.24 for 18th. Talviku goes... sorry, guys. Sickness is really... starting to get me now. Talviku goes 21.16 for 19th. Mark Finnis, 19.18 for 20th to round out that top 20. And I just wonder when we're going to see Mark do another hero ride here. And shout out to Connor Visker, DNS 31st for 41st overall. So that's cool. And that's been your 250 race recap, brought to you by our friends at Flo Racing. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the live stream. This is what members will get to experience here, except for a longer show with guests, and you can ask all sorts of questions if you sign up for our members area. So make sure to go sign up for that, everybody. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I want to thank all our sponsors: Complete Racing Solutions, TLR Coatings, ProFlow, Gutter Works, Isaac Nelson Designs. Oh, and I almost forgot, Holster Co. I don't have a rant this week, but shout out to Holster Co. and the Holster Co. Reload Rant segment. I just wasn't upset about anything this week. So we'll see. I'll try to come up with a better one next week. Sorry, Mike. But anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Thanks to Zell the Man again for that $9.99 super chat right off the rip there when we started this live stream. This has been Show 279. We will be off the next couple of weeks here. I'll be bringing y'all some content, but we're basically going to be off unless we have some breaking news, which who knows, this year could happen. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see y'all in a few weeks for Unadilla.